Stampers, this is Trevis. Welcome to Video Tuesday. And so today for our technique, we are going to emboss, heat emboss on vellum, and then we're going to add some color and really make it pop. So I don't think I've ever done this technique before, and it works really well with our heat gun because it has two temperatures. And so heating on with vellum is no problem since we do have the nice heat gun. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so here's my vellum, and it's nice heavy vellum. It's cardstock vellum. In the old days, we did have some thinner vellum, but this is the nice heavy stuff, so that works great. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to stamp with Versamark, and I am going to use a stamp from Hand Pen Petals. I'm going to use this stamp right here, and I'm going to stamp it several times onto the vellum, and then I'm going to add embossing powder, copper embossing powder. So let's get started. This is a photopolymer stamp, so you do any stamp that you use Versamark with, you do need to clean it off the Versamark when you're finished because it is a sticky ink. And it will kind of just stay on your stamp, and I don't like it. I like to clean my stamps as I go. Okay, so I'm going to put you probably can't see what I'm stamping. I can see it, but you probably can't because it's obviously Versamark is clear, and we're stamping on vellum, so it's really hard to see. And one more time. Right here. Okay, looking good. Now, move that out of the way, and then I'm going to clean my stamp. So I'm going to use some mist, and I'm going to use my chamois. You can use your scrub. Actually, the scrub probably works better for this because that Versamark really needs to scrub off. But I really want to... It looks pretty good. I really want to get that off of there before it dries on there. Okay, so we're done with that. Now comes the copper embossing powder. So our powders now, let's see if I can pick this up in an area that's not. So here's what I do. I'm just going to sprinkle this on, let it fall into the coffee filter, right? And there's no waste. Just that area. Looking good. So you're just going to thump it on the back. Give it a little blow there, and you'll have all the powder off in areas that you don't want. Then you're going to take your coffee filter and pour it right back into the pot. And there's no waste. I am going to do a sentiment also, and I wonder if I ought to just do that now. I think I will. So I'm going to do, this is Blackberry Bliss cardstock, and I'm going to do a sentiment on this card from In Bloom that says, "Happy birthday, you really are the best." And so I have that mounted, and I'm going to Versamark that on here. And make sure I get this in the right order. So write your Versamark. You see how dirty mine was? It's okay. You can, it's no problem. You can just keep re-inking it and good to go. So don't freak out if your Versamark pad gets kind of stained and ugly, because guess what? They just keep working. I don't know how long I've had that. That's a foam pad. They're awesome. Okay, we need to clean this. Get this out of the way. What did I do with the spritzer? Here it is. Spritz a little of this on here. That's our mist. Speaking of ugly, how's that chamois? Woo! Very, very ugly. But guess what? I just take it to the sink, wash it, squeeze it. It works great. I never have to buy another chamois either. Okay. So now I'm going to heat emboss both of these. And I'm going to use our heat tool. And it does have the 2 temperatures on it. The first one I'm going to heat up. And I'm going to let this get nice and hot. And then I'm going to heat emboss my happy birthday. So, because this is cardstock, it can take the nice strong heat, which is 2 on the switch, number 2. But when you go to emboss the vellum, you want to switch it down to 1. And then it's going to take a little longer, right? It's going to take a little longer to heat, but it is not going to warp your vellum, which I love. So it's not as strong in heat-wise, but it's also not as strong against the vellum. Don't you love that copper embossing powder? OMG. It is so gorgeous. So copper, to me, is almost prettier than gold, and it's so popular right now. Pink gold and copper seem to be more popular than silver and gold right now. But we all know that over time things change and gold and silver will come back. I still love gold and silver too. But they will come back just as strong as they were. Hope you can hear me over this heat gun. Some people heat from behind when they're doing the vellum, but I don't. I don't think you need to. Why would you when this works fine? You can see what you're doing. Works great. So my theory, let's go with it. Okay, now when I'm finished, there's 2 things you could do. This is going to be so pretty that you could just mount this on a piece of cardstock and it would be gorgeous, right? But I'm going to do one more thing to it to make it even prettier, I think. You can be the judge of that for yourself. But, okay, now if you missed any spots, you can go back and pull that up. I did not, I don't think. So we're done with the heat tool. Okay, so I'm just going to show you an example. I could lay this now on top of a piece of cardstock. It would be so pretty, right? But I'm going to add some color to this first. And I'm going to use my blending brushes. And I'm going to use 3 of my ink pads. I'm going to use Blackberry Bliss, Just Jade, which is an in color, right? Fresh Freesia, which is an in color. And I'm going to use, let's see, my blending brush. I'm going to take some of this ink off. I think there's a little bit of ink on here. I don't want too much of that. So a different one. Oh, that's more orange. Ooh, maybe I'll use this one. Okay, so I'm going to pull up. First color I'm going to pull up is Fresh Freesia. And I'm going to burnish that into the cardstock. Okay. Now, you could also, if you don't have blending brushes, not a problem. You probably have some sponges. You have some some finger daubers. I call them finger daubers. Because they fit on your finger. You may just have some makeup brushes, makeup sponges. You could use those. So somehow you can get some ink. You could even do direct to paper. What is direct to paper? Direct to paper is when you just scrape the ink pad across your cardstock. Okay. Now I'm going to pick up some Blackberry Bliss, and this is much darker. So pretty. I'm going to blend that right into the Fresh Freesia. Whoops. Sorry about that. Looking good. Getting a little ink on my fingers, but hey, we all know when you're a stamper, probably going to get a little ink on your hands. Okay, then I'm going to use this one. And I'm going to use this in my Just Jade. So this is called burnishing, when you really rub into the cardstock. And it makes, I love these colors together. They're so rich, and even that fresh freesia to me is kind of a rich color. You know, it's kind of a mauvey pinky color. Okay, I think I'm done. So to clean your brushes, you just go like this. Clean the color off. You can take them if you want and wash them at the sink, but I don't. Really had no issues with them. Just clean them like that. Okay, close the pads so we don't stick our fingers in them or our cardstock in them down the road. Make them pop. When they pop, you know they're closed. Okay, now what's the best way to adhere vellum to cardstock? I'll tell you what. My suggestion is that you need to use adhesive sheets. Adhesive sheets, actually this is an older pack of it. It actually comes in a different kind of a, actually kind of a different kind of a packaging now, but it's the same thing. So if you have the old stuff, still works, right? I'm just going to cut a piece of this, same size as my cardstock. Okay. So vellum, because a lot of adhesives show through on vellum. So people get a little freaked out by that. They're like, every adhesive I use, no matter if I use seal, it shows through over time. And yes, I agree. So now I'm just going to put this down right on top of my ink. And the only other way that I can think of to adhere vellum to cardstock is, besides adhesive sheets, is just our multi-purpose liquid glue. A thin layer of that works. Okay, so now I'm going to peel this off. I didn't burnish that. I should have. You can see it's very sticky now. And I'm going to stick that down. And so it's a very soft color. And now I'm just going to take my scissors and trim away that vellum. The edges of the vellum. You know, you could use your, should I use my paper trimmer? Nah, I'll just do this. I have my paper trimmer right here, but pretty good with scissors. Some people aren't, but it works easy enough. Used to have these big scissors. Stampin' Up! Used to sell these big scissors. Ugh, bring them back. I loved them. I still have mine, but can't get them anymore, so I don't like to use them in videos because people want them. Okay, loving that. Okay, now I'm just going to take my adhesive, my Stampin' seal on the back, adhere this to a piece of Blackberry Bliss. Use my bone folder on my Fresh Freesia cardstock base. So this is 5.5 by 8.5, folded in half. We're going to do a nice border on here. Okay, and then you remember we did this. And I think what I'm going to do is I am just going to fussy cut around this little birthday saying. If you have a die That would be really cute too. If you have a die that, you know, says a word like happy or whatever, that would be super cute on here. Using my mini dimensionals. These are the black ones, which I love. Happy birthday, you really are the best. And let's use up some of these brushed metallic adhesive back dots. Yeah, that's a mouthful. And where's my, oh, I don't have my little poker. Oh, well, I'll use my fingers. It's okay. Or you can use your scissors. I'm going to use these. These are the matching. Put one down here. Yes. Okay, so these are the copper ones. All right, so there's our card today, and I hope you enjoyed it. And I will see you on Friday for a Fast Card Friday. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.